All right, you glorious grasshoppers. It is Monday morning, 11 o'clock. The great Mark Puttenvink from Patriot Training Systems, from all the 21 universes that we know of. Probably a couple that what is it now?
22.
22 universes. Is that a new one in the last couple of weeks you found another one?
Over the weekend, I grabbed it.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to get right at it, okay? I apologize. I want your opinion here, all right? Whether I've become the grouchy old man or just, so live in the condominium complex, beautiful place. Well, it's good. Doing a lot of construction right now. And we've had problems with dogs, right? So, dog people are they're in their own world. Some of them, not all of them. Like you seem like you're a respectable dog owner. Some of them just want to let their dog run around, no leash, not pick up poop, bark all the time. So now the latest, I'm outside of my deck yesterday. Beautiful day. Sitting at my deck, had my dinner outside and everything, watching TV. And the smell of pot now comes up. And again, we're just like the neighbor, the wonderful woman next door, the widowed woman, that we had a problem a bit with the dog. We settled out, both were very respectful. I tried to keep my TV down a little bit. Her daughter was there. So I think when her daughter comes over, that's when the pot comes out. So I
did you get a secondhand high?
Well, I got my blood pressure run high, and I tried to be nice to say, listen, please, can we not? I really don't want the smell of the pot now as well. Yeah. And they stopped, to their credit, it stopped. But I'm thinking, okay, am I overstating it, or where would you sit on it?
Well, it's a tough one because it's kind of socially accepted now.
Yeah.
But and then what do you do when you're in the city? I mean, every time.
Oh, I know.
That's all you smell when you walk down the streets. So, it's a tough one.
I know.
Yeah.
And, because they have sent out notices. They didn't talk about pot, but they sent out a notice. Listen, you can't be smoking out in your deck. Right. And so the smoke now goes over to other people's decks.
Yeah.
So this is a policy that they have. So,
yeah, I think to be, I guess just to be respectful, if you're in a community like that, you got to kind of be a little bit more discreet with it.
Yeah, go for a walk or something.
Yeah.
Go down the street.
But did you get hungry? Did you get more?
No, I didn't. No, and I used to when I was in college and I had my bout with the marijuana. That was all I get those white powdered donuts.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when I smoked pot in college, it was a waste of time. I didn't even enjoy it. I started coughing and throwing up almost, and then
slamming donuts.
Yeah, and then I'd pass out. They'd find me underneath a tree someplace. Passed out.
Donuts.
Yeah, like I'd done cocaine or something like that. I get the donut powder all over me.
Sugar all over your face.
Geez. I think back about it, like, why did I do that? I wasn't even having fun.
It's hysterical.
I know. All right, there's our magical veteran there in Chicago, William Haynes.
How are you? Good morning.
Magical veteran up in Buffalo.
Yeah,
beautiful Buffalo, Ronnie Jameson. Yes, veterans. We got a lot of veterans. How's our boy Brad Haberlin doing?
He's doing great. Yeah,
he's not a veteran. He's not a veteran though, right?
No. He was a corrections officer, and
How's everything with the fingers?
He's fine. I mean, he's.
That's all right. No problem.
FedEx truck is here. She hates the FedEx truck.
Oh, is that what it is? She's saving it.
Yeah.
She doesn't. It's a funny video with their dog. Then when my owner realizes how many times I've saved his life from the FedEx driver.
But So, no, Brad's doing phenomenal.
Here we go. We'll go to our buddy William. What's he got here? My middle son smokes, and I get on his ass when he comes over because he stinks like skunk. I know. And I'm like you. You know what? It's no different than drinking. It's probably safer than drinking. It's probably better for you.
I mean, when's the last time you heard somebody get violent when they're smoking weed?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
If anything, it's just the opposite. Yeah.
Last house I was in, I was there for like 15 years or something, and neighbor had young, middle, like early 20s boys, and I kept smelling. I thought it was a skunk. So I went to Home Depot, got the little pellets and everything, and they was safe stuff and just scared the skunk away. My son's come over and got that. It's fine.
I told you the story about this guy who's trained. He's with his dad.
Right.
So his father's like in his 80s. And he gets pulled over. He didn't quite stop or something very minimal. So the cop, asked him for his paperwork. He says, "Is that marijuana I smell?" The guy's like, "What?" "Oh, my son's hockey equipment is in the back."
Oh.
Yeah.
Seriously?
True story, like a skunk.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that skunk and marijuana smell. They're pretty much the same, aren't they?
Very similar. Yeah.
But you're right, though. You go through Times Square in the city now.
Oh, forget it. Even if I'm going back. Probably the last concert I saw. I think not whatever it was. Brendan Byrne Arena. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
So it's in the air. You can't avoid it.
Yeah, I know.
And that was in the 80s probably. Yeah.
I'm that old farm boy. It's so naive. I can figure it. Here in Illinois, this is illegal. My wife's parents were from Italy, and they kept saying, "Is there skunk here?" Oh,
Yeah.
that is funny. That is funny. How was your weekend?
Good. Yes. Saturday morning, they had a health fair. Excuse me, here in the town senior center. I did a demo on how to protect yourself with a cane.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. It was funny because I had a whole bunch of old people out there swinging their canes at each other.
That's good.
Jabbing. It was awesome.
That's very funny. That's good. Good job. You sent me that funny video, a guy in the fountain there with the water going up his butt.
I thought of you right away when I saw that.
Oh God.
What's wrong with people?
He's having way too much fun.
Yeah.
Oh God. I know. Isn't that true? Okay. There's a general question for you. I mean, this is just your opinion. So we see a lot of weird stuff now. Is it because we have access to it more with the internet, or is it always a lot of weird stuff going on?
Yeah.
So it's
everybody's posting, including me, but I try to make it a little bit more whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's some of it's funny, some of it's like, oh, that's just stupid.
I know.
Yeah. But it is tough.
I'm bad because I get too much fun out of watching overweight people fall down. In these, like
anybody falling down.
I know, it's terrible. I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
This one woman in a red bikini, and she should not be wearing the red bikini. What did they do? They had her falling off a cliff, and it was just, and it's sick. I shouldn't be laughing at it. I couldn't stop watching it. It's terrible.
She probably survived.
Yep.
Just a cushion.
Oh God.
I mean, there are advantages to being really massively obese.
Right.
It's hard to get kidnapped. Right. Yeah.
Oh Jesus. Oh God. What was I just thinking about? That was terrible too. I can't remember what it was. Some sick stuff or something. Did you watch the game on Saturday night? Is it Saturday?
Yeah. Well, Rangers could have beat Florida.
Yeah. No kidding.
That's my takeaway on the game.
Yeah. You know, I got to give Bobrovsky a lot of credit too. He's come back to his game again. Yeah.
Although, what did you feel about that goal they disallowed? I thought it was a good play.
Which one was that? I forgot.
So there was a jam up in front of the net, right-handed shot on Oilers came in and rammed it in. I don't know. I forget who it was, but they disallowed the goal.
Was it Ryan Hopkins? I think they go. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, I thought they blew the whistle too soon or something, but I thought the puck was still alive.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, the Oilers were really putting on a push, and then they could have changed. 2-1 now. It's a 1-goal game. It changes the whole.
Yeah.
The whole. Structure of the game. So
yeah, it was one of those games too, where the one team outplayed them and lost too. Like Edmonton was a way better hockey team, I thought.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the Rangers in Florida. Florida was outplaying them, and the Rangers found a way to win.
Saw an interview by Susan's brother. Well, here's Susan Brooks here. Larry Brooks is on last night. After I scored this night, they're talking about the Yankees here. Let me see here. Hey, Mark, my cousin sent me a Yankee hat because my White Sox.
Well, the White Sox hat's cool, though. I like the White Sox hat.
Yeah, great.
I should get one of those. Yeah.
So Larry Brooks was on doing a podcast. I think it was with the former big guy that had cancer that played for the Rangers, big tall kid, big centerman. You know, I'm talking about, he had cancer, played for the Devils too. Boyle? No.
Brian Boyle.
Brian Boyle.
Brian Boyle.
He was on, him and Molly Walker. And Larry was saying, there's all this debate, are they going to come back with the same team next year? And he very, very confidently said they will not be coming back with the same team.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
I mean, how many iterations is this? This has gone from, it's different.
But isn't it funny, though, if you were the Toronto Maple Leaf fans and you look back at the last 3 seasons, they've got semifinals twice and they won the President's Trophy. So those fans would think, wow, we're great. Don't break the team up. Yeah.
Close. So I'm interested to see. I think they're going to play well this year. I think they're going to respond well to Berube. I think that the personality of that team, especially the top end guys, they need structure. They really.
Okay. I hear you. But here's my concern: do they have what it takes? Like, do they have that desire?
We'll find out now.
Yeah,
Berube, we'll find out real quick.
Yeah, because I used to say the same thing about Ovechkin in Washington until they won the cup, and then you say, well, he's a winner now, right?
Yeah.
So currently, those guys are not winners.
But Rangers certainly have to. There's got to be some big. But I don't know how. Well, some of these guys have long term. They got no.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult.
2 guys, Trouba and Kreider. July 1st, they go from no move clauses to they give them 15 teams they'll go to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And part of the issue is too. I think they've got about $8 million under the cap, and then next year they've got to get Lindgren signed this year, and there's a couple other guys, and then next year is Igor Shesterkin.
That's the big one. Yeah.
Yeah. and you think you want to get something done before you get to that point. I believe he's a restricted free agent, which means he can get an offer from somebody else, but
right.
I doubt.
They can match it,
Yeah, somebody wants to really try to screw the Rangers and get them up against the cap. They could make a big offer to them, front end load it, and have a problem with the cap. But
what's your thoughts on Lindgren? I mean, I love him, but
yeah,
you know,
I know. But I guess
how
what
much
else
is
do you
left?
have, right? I mean, I
Yeah,
know
I know.
they got that Zach Jones, right?
Zach Jones.
But then if you're going to move Truba's got like $8.5 million, and so he's
Too
the same
much.
thing. In July 1st, it's 15 teams he gives them a list. And the same. Okay, now I'm thinking though, if somebody's going to take on that salary, I don't think you're going to get anything back. You may have to give up more to get rid of him.
He's 30 years old.
Yeah, coming off a bad year.
And a broken ankle. But
Right.
I mean, that's going to be everybody's hurt
Right.
at one point.
But then, and two, if he plays another bad year, you're going to get anybody to take him with that number. Right?
Yeah.
Like who would take him? I guess. I mean, he's still the captain of the team. We forget that, but
Yeah, I know.
yeah. And I'm not sold. Like when he first came here, this is his fourth year he just completed here at the Rangers. I think, right? Yeah. First year was I didn't think it was great because I thought he tried to do too much. The next 2 years, I think he was fantastic.
Yeah, I agree, and I just wonder really because he started, if I remember correctly, this year he started off playing really well.
Yeah. Yep.
And then when he got the injury, and then they pumped him back to the third unit, I
Yeah.
just questioned that move.
Yeah, I know.
What was the rationale?
Yeah.
He could say no, I'm fine. But, come on,
Yeah.
nobody wants to lose minutes.
Yeah, that's embarrassing for
Yeah.
a guy that's captain of the
captain.
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So who's that? Is that Drury or is that Laviolette or who was it?
I believe that's Laverlet, but I'm sure he talked to Drury.
Oh, yeah.
They have the conversations.
But don't you think that might have been a part of the reason he didn't?
Yeah. You'd like to know what the communication is in the locker room, the coach's office. Like, are they pulling him in?
Yeah.
Explaining to him, here's what's going on. Because again, those like for the 2 years, so the first year wasn't great. The second and third year he's been here, big hits too. Remember in the playoffs time, like somebody do something cheap to his guy, he'd wait until get him later with a clean hit.
Yeah.
And then he turned into this elbow machine, which
Shit.
yeah, just like
Pretty
worse.
much.
Yeah.
Well, I think you know better than I, but that's because you're a step behind. So
Yeah.
You're reaching. You're already reaching, and now you just come in with the elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan makes a good point here. She always does. Galahad would trade his captain. Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, it is one of those things. Brian Leach, yeah. And it's one of those things. You've got to look down the road too. Again with this cap, and again, you wait, and then you got to move Trouba, and nobody's going to do the Rangers favor. They know that everybody knows you got to move Trouba to get Igor Shesterkin signed. So everybody's like, okay, yeah, we're going to rob you blind. We're going to, right? And again, we talked about it, I think, on the Thursday show, but you know this too. The process is there for Shesterkin. He's a restricted free agent at the end of this contract, one more year. And then he can sign an offer sheet from somebody else.
Sure.
But then the Rangers have the right to match it,
Mm-hmm.
which they will. And there's some of the times in the past they would do that so that like the teams that didn't have a whole lot of cash would more than likely really strap them, or maybe they would let the player walk. But that's not a problem with the Rangers. So.
What do you think with Capo?
I gotta go.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we've seen what this is it. It's not going to get any better.
For his own.
He may flourish somewhere else.
Yeah, and that happens too. There's a player, Cleary, Dan Cleary, was drafted high. Yeah, drafted high by Chicago. Chicago, I think Phoenix. Ultimately ended up in Detroit as a free agent and blossomed. Won 2 Stanley Cups there with the team and really played well. Was a solid third, fourth line guy. So it happens, to get away someplace else. There's no pressure to be that high draft pick.
Remember Mikhail Samuelson? I don't know if you recall him.
Yeah.
So they got him when I was there from San Jose. He was in the American League. I think Nicky was his coach at Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
But in any event, it's okay. Blah blah blah. But then he went to Detroit and had a couple of really big seasons where he was like 30 plus.
Well, yeah. And here's a good point too. So part of what I think most people would like to see with the Rangers is get a little bit more sandpaper to them. Mm-hmm. And we've already really got that here with Rempe, Cooley. Who's the guy that scored a couple of goals, the third and fourth line centerman there?
Barkley.
Good
job.
Barkley, yeah. So listen, you don't have to put them all together, but if you want to, you put those 3 guys together. There's your grit right there, right? And then everybody else has got to pick it up as well. Hopefully, Hedl can get back to where he was. That's going to be a question too. Like, what's going to happen with him? Is he?
Yeah. I don't know. Those injuries don't go away.
I know. Once you start getting them,
You bend over, you get a concussion.
Yeah. Okay, on defense, then we got we talked about this before. Schneider, I like a lot, getting better and better. He will
100%.
continue to get better.
Yeah.
The guys, two guys we got to stay around here or have trainers during the summer are Keandre Miller and Rempe.
Yep.
Those two guys got to get stronger, so that you know the stuff too. Once like Miller in particular, he's a rail thin kid, super talented. Only played 6 years of defense so far, which is, and I've talked about this before, where
Pretty amazing.
yeah, I started playing hockey at 6 years old playing defense, and I didn't turn pro till I was 21 or 22. So it's 16, 17 years of playing defense.
Yeah.
So for him to do it in 6 years at the National Hockey League level, if he makes some mistakes, it's a confidence thing too. I'm sure he's saying in the back of his mind, I'm a little bit unsure of myself. He looks like that sometimes too. So.
He has all the tools. He just needs to get a toolbox.
Yep, totally. Yep. So get stronger. He'll be stronger mentally once he gets physically stronger. And really, he's got a guy like you want to okay, you get to us like you or me or something like that. It's like you got to start believing in yourself more.
Yeah.
Doing all the exercises. So that,
with his body type, who really would have been great to work with was Larry. Larry Robinson would have been perfect.
Oh yeah,
for him to work with.
Totally. Yeah, and he needs Larry's attitude, and that's easy to say, right? It's Larry Robinson.
We all do.
Yeah. Oh no kidding. Because Larry had no problem making mistakes. In fact, he knew he was going to make mistakes. Didn't care, just played through them. But again, he knew he was going to get back on the ice too. But
well, that's a big thing too. If you know that you're going to get back out there.
Yeah.
Sure.
If done by Rempe, hold on. Bennett's hit on McDavid would have been a 5-minute major. Yeah. If done by Rempe.
Yeah, he's got a big target on his back.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll diminish over time. But right now he's especially that Sutherland. What's his name? Kelly Sutherland.
Yeah, was he the referee that was lecturing him?
Yeah, I mean, it's not your job to arrest you. Shut up.
Yeah. No, that's where troopers get. A trooper or the coach or both. You got to go to the referee and say, "Hey, listen, I know you're trying."
That's my job.
Yeah, you can have a conversation with him without yelling at him. I said that in the paper someplace that they're interested to go. That was the rumor that they're interested to go back to Kane. I don't know why they'd do that. Why would you?
Well, I guess with Bedard on his right side.
Yeah.
Well, Bedard's a centerman, though, right?
Yeah. And you're trying to build a team. Like they're not in a winning mode right now.
Yeah, you got to build around the kid.
Yeah, so let the kids have that spot instead of Patrick Kane. Yeah, it's a good rumor. Maybe somebody's trying to help him out. He's a free agent, I think, now, so he's trying to find a job.
His agent probably put that article out.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Zach Jones. I didn't see Zach Jones that much, but I've heard some good stuff about him.
Yeah, his game, and you need a guy like this, quiet, nothing spectacular. Like he reminds me a lot, not spectacular, but very smooth skater, really good outlet pass guy. Reminds me a lot of Bruce Driver, the way Bruce played.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't not going to put anybody through the wall, but he was one of the smartest players out there. And that kind of reminds me of Zach Jones' game.
Yeah. So you're with some old people. Where were you at school?
No, it was at so they have a senior center here in town for senior citizens. And they had health fair there. They had financial people, health people. And so I went in and I did it was a trip because they all came out on the cane, and
Bill did too?
They were really excited too. They wanted to get at it.
Yeah, that's funny.
And one of the great things about the Filipino martial arts is that you could grab anything and make a force multiplier or a weapon out of it.
Yeah.
And a cane's great because, in fact, if you go on YouTube, there's thousands of cane defense videos out there. Some are good, some are okay. But really, I mean, just to cross-check somebody, right?
Yeah.
To get too close, you can spear them. You could swing it like a baseball bat. You can block shots with it. It's pretty.
Just the surprise of an older person fighting back, right? Like I'm assuming the predator would think, well, this person's not going to fight back, and then all of a sudden he's getting hit with a cane.
Well, I had a smaller Asian woman came out. She said, "Hey, I'm kind of small." I said, "So what?"
Yeah.
The cane makes everything even, because now you're right at probably that attacker's groin area. Just bang, one shot right there by a little space.
You go as far as to say, if you listen, do whatever you need to do. You need to gouge your eyes out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, on Sundays I train a family, and it's mom and dad and 3 girls, probably like 16, 14, and 11 or 12. And we were talking. I was demonstrating a double eye. We just go right through. Hey, get the guy here and just go through.
Right.
And they're like, I go, well, listen.
You're him. Yeah.
You got to do this if it's you or him, right?
Yeah.
And they get it.
Totally. I keep forgetting to mention this month is Men's Mental Health Month.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of videos on reels and everything like that, kind of sad stuff, like showing videos.
Well, we just lost that golfer.
Yeah.
PGA, 30-year-old guy.
I guess he, I don't know if it matters, but I guess he turned on his car in the garage and
Yeah, I think. In fact, there was a follow-up article just on this and saying that the PGA Tour is having a problem because they're very isolated. You think about them; they're playing like every weekend,
yeah.
and most of them drive or they have an RV or something like that. It's a pretty isolated life they lead.
Yeah.
And there's some talk about within the PGA to try to get a little bit better with the mental health.
And I think I'm correct, there's no players union, right? It's just the PGA itself.
Yeah, I think no, they don't have a union.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the guys went over to that Saudi league.
Yeah, live
And they throw a bunch of money at them. I've tried to watch it. I can't.
the live.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, they're great players. I mean, it's Brooks and Phil Mickelson, all those guys, but it's just something. It's not the same. I don't know.
I have just a hard time with golf in general. Like you go back to Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus and those guys, they were entertaining. Tiger was entertaining.
Tiger was probably, I would say, like when people, I would say Tiger, Gretz. You know, you could argue Ali, Mike Tyson, but when you talk about the greats of the game, Tom Brady, Tiger, in my lifetime, I've never seen an athlete. There's a video, I'll send it to you, where he's doing like one of those where he's paid to play with some people.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "Hey, let's have a long."
Yeah, I saw this. Good.
And he outdrives him from his freaking knees.
Yeah, he let the guy go first, right? The guy was pretty happy with himself and everything.
Because he crushed it. The guy did stripe it.
Uh,
And you say to yourself, that guy could have been whatever sport he chose.
Okay, so who are they? So Wayne Gretzky, the greatest in hockey? You agree with that?
Well, I mean, in my lifetime, because I'm too young to really remember Gordy when he was at his prime. Bobby Orr, the tail end. So,
if he played more,
But what I'm saying in my lifetime, because I got to see Gretzky beginning to end.
Yeah.
Those guys I saw, like maybe with Bobby Orr, the last third, maybe.
Yeah.
When the Bruins were playing the Flyers in the Cup.
What a great guy too. He's got his own agent business. So when I was in the agent, I had to call him for some reason. I never talked to Bobby before, and I was like a little kid. I was all nervous, and he was the nicest guy. You know, the fact that I had played, we really didn't know each other, but he'd say, "Hey, Tommy, how you doing?" All this. I think really,
isn't that cool? Like,
oh yeah. And most guys are like that too, right? Yeah. Gordie Howe was great. There's another player who's got to put in the list. When Gretz was with us in LA there, and he was trying to break Gordie's record, Gordie traveled around with us.
Right.
And Wayne went for a couple of games without scoring. We said, "Don't score, Gretz. We want to hang out with Gordie some more." And he was fantastic. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Then we had Bobby Hull. He came to us for tryouts with the Rangers my second year when I was in Sweden.
I remember that.
Yeah. Same thing. Just a fantastic guy. You're sitting around drinking beer with Bobby Hull.
That's unbelievable.
It is. Yeah.
I remember. It's not the same. It's similar, but the holdout. I was in Albany, and so Larry was up there, and Jacques Caron and Jacques. Right. And we're in the room. I'm sitting there going, "Freaking Larry Robinson."
I know.
On the ice with Jacques. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That was cool. When Larry came to the Kings too, in our first training camp, we're in the strip joint the first day of this training camp, and I'm sitting there with Larry Robinson, Wayne Gretzky, Dave Taylor, John Tonelli, and I'm going, "This is unbelievable."
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, they're just like little kids too. I think I've told the story, but they took the girls' underwear off and put it on top of the camera so they couldn't see what was going on in the room. Oh, and I'm sitting there laughing because these guys are just like little kids. They're loving life and just having fun.
Yeah, that's what. It's different now because everybody you're not really on a team anymore. You're like your own product, which is I understand it, but
they can't just cut loose, because there was no cell phone cameras and all that back then, so guys could do it.
Thank God.
Oh, I know. We were laughing about that a while ago. Thank God there's no Twitter or whatever. You come home, you half in the bag, and you get your Twitters and stuff.
And you start doing stuff, and you go, "I said that."
Yeah. I know. Yeah, erase. Hit the erase button right away. Okay, so those guys in hockey. What do we got for basketball then? Michael Jordan, Larry Bird.
Michael Jordan, Larry Bird.
Got put
Magic. Isaiah. And even a little guy, Allen Iverson.
Yeah. There's been a lot of great players. Yeah, you think of it. And then LeBron James now, right?
Yeah.
And who's the guy that's a big shooter? He's a West too. Golden State, is it?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. He's right up there, but kind of quietly though, right? Like he doesn't seem to get that recognition that LeBron does.
Sometimes I guess you look at what they also did for the sport, because the sport had no TV revenue until Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And he really made the money for the guys.
Yeah, he did.
And this is why I don't understand why there's such hate on this girl, Caitlin Clark, because guys, nobody and their brother ever watched a WNBA game. Now I'll watch her. She's that good.
Yeah.
So you're getting more eyes on the league.
Yeah.
It's a shame that they're really hating on him. And there's I'm sure a backstory to it, but
Tom, I got a photo from the parking lot in LA Forum, which McNall, I think you were threatening that time. I was threatening. Threatening to quit or threatening to keep playing?
McNall said, "I'll pay you more. Just
Yeah, go away."
Yeah.
I came to training camp to get back in shape.
That's the way it was.
Yeah, that's the way it was back then.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a good question. The infamous Art Kaminsky. So he got a lot of the college guys. I remember walking in our coach's office at college, and there was myself, Steve Bozak, Steve Weeks, one other guy had been drafted. And he says, "Okay, here's your new agent." There was no recruiting process. It's just the coach said, there really wasn't many agents anyways. I think there's like 15 or 20. I became good friends with another guy, Larry Roush. I wish I had. He's passed away, and so was Art Kaminsky, in fairness to him, his family. But Art was one of those guys. He was a salesman, and so I was going to fire him one time. But I said, "I'm going to be a man about this. I'm going to go down to the city. I'm going to walk into his office. I'm going to fire him." Walk in his office, walk out 20 minutes later, thinking he's my best friend. About a month later, I go, "What the heck just happened here?"
Yeah.
He got a whole bunch of us in one of these 4-to-1 tax write-offs. It was an oil well deal where, and I didn't even qualify for it. So I was making like $60,000 at my first year. And we would write 4 checks of $15,000. And so we get a $15,000 write-off. I think that's what it was. I remember 4 checks at $12,500, something like that. And I remember asking him, I said, "Well, what if this goes wrong? Like, what happens like 10 years down the road?" Stop. In 10 years, the IRS won't be able to find you. It doesn't matter. 10 years comes by, they want the money back. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. That was painful reading that check. So,
did you know Paul
Theophanis?
Yeah. Good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah. I don't, this is awful. I don't want to ever doubt him. He goes around telling everybody he was in the Secret Service or something like that, or like special agent or something.
And see, I got a different story. I heard he went to Cornell.
Yeah.
I think it was Cornell. And he studied Russian when we were still a Cold War. Right. And that, I mean, all his players were Russian at first.
Right. Yeah. Right.
The first guys that came over.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a good guy. Yeah. Yeah. You're an agent. There's always a little bit of bitterness towards each other because we're always recruiting the same guys and, the same stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's some I ran. Well, one in particular I didn't care for.
Agent?
Yeah.
A big name guy?
Fairly.
A lot of Russians?
Yep. It's Mark, and then you can figure out the last name.
Yeah. You know what?
Starts with a G, his last name.
Yeah, Mark Gandler.
Yeah.
And, he's funny because I got along fine. I did hear all the bad stories about him and everything, but I got along fine. We had a meeting one time when Bob Goodenow was still running the Player Association. So when Bob Goodenow ran the Player Association, all the agents would go into Toronto for meetings once or twice a year. When Donald Fear took over, he would have meetings all over the place. So I just had to go downtown New York. And so, but we had a meeting with Bob, and the discussion became about recruiting and giving inducements to the players, which I think technically it really wasn't against the rules, but they were trying to act like we were like above that. We shouldn't be doing that. And Gandler stood up and he goes, "No, we kidding. We're all doing it. So just shut up. Let's get going." And the room just started dying laughing. We went on for them because it was true.
Yeah, he had ripped off Patrick Elias pretty good.
Oh, did he really? I didn't know.
Yeah,
really?
on some kind of business, I think a fast food thing or something. But he pretty much did him dirty. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and players are gullible too. We think that nobody's ever going to hurt us.
Players.
Yeah. Terrible. Okay, so we covered basketball, baseball. Who's the best baseball players ever played?
Okay,
Ted Williams.
For sure, he's up there. Yeah.
Babe Ruth.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Willie Mays. I mean, baseball's such a rich history of just tremendous ball players.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron. I mean, there's pitching. Here's one. You know that Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young Award.
Really? Wow.
No. And if you look at his record, his accolades of how many no hitters he threw, and how many games he won, and leading the league in strikeouts, and never won a Cy Young Award.
Who votes? Is that the writers that vote on that?
Writers do. Yeah.
So he jerk to him.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, there's a really good documentary on it's either Netflix or Amazon on him. Yeah.
Okay, so best football players, so Tom Brady?
Yeah, for that position, sure. But then again, you got to throw guys like Johnny Unitas in there.
Yeah.
Certainly Joe Montana.
Yeah. Barry Sanders. Played in Detroit.
Running back. Yeah. That's another good documentary. If you haven't seen it, it's on Amazon.
Oh.
Because he never wanted. I mean, the franchise was horrible.
Yeah.
and he was it. But he was
Who's the
tremendous.
big guy that ran over everybody? He played in Houston.
Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell. I loved watching him play. Oh,
He only had north and south. He didn't have
Oh.
blinkers. Yeah,
man. And he went after people, too. It's like he was going after him.
like a battering ram.
He's a guy that amazes me how good he is. And if you look at him physically, is that McCaffrey. Like, he's not an imposing guy.
No, but he's
Yeah.
such an athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, his father was a great ball player.
Oh, was he? Oh,
Oh yeah, sure. He won Super Bowls with Broncos.
oh wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was a wideout. Yeah,
So
But,
would you put? It's hard to really pick one guy that's the best, right? Especially over so many
well,
years.
because football is kind of you got the offense, you got the defense. Even though you have that in hockey somewhat, but everybody's playing offense, everybody's playing defense. This
Yeah.
is specific. So like you got to look at guys like, again, Buckus.
Yeah.
So
Another guy didn't win either. Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor, but I mean, Randy White, those guys like that on
Yeah.
that side of the ball.
Yeah. Randy White. Yes.
It was interesting that when Bill Parisi and I did some work for the New England Patriots, those guys don't even communicate. Like it's, yeah. So you have the offensive team comes in, you train the skill guys first, and you train the linemen, and then the D guys come in, you train their skill guys like the cornerbacks. They're not skilled, but the quick outs, and then the animals.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. How about I watched a documentary on Secretariat the other night. Man, that's amazing.
That's
Wow.
pretty cool. Now I was thinking about this. I'm watching the Belmont because Beth's really into the horses. She still was right. Now she's riding a hamster. It's a whole different thing. But anyway, you think about the life of a successful horse. You know what your reward is?
Get laid all the time.
That's it. The rest of your life. That's your only job.
And your bosses are getting paid for you to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
They said when the Secretary died and they did an autopsy, the heart for a Secretary was like twice the size of normal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, that
And
final race it was at Belmont, right? At Belmont.
Correct.
The
Yeah.
Triple Crown. He normally would start from the back and then work his way up and leave. Then this one, he went right to the front
Right
and
to
he took off, and everybody, he was interviewing all the reporters and saying he's going too fast. He'll never make it. Never make it. And he just kept on going. And the guy, the announcer, famous line, he goes, "He's running like a tremendous machine," and it just fires you up, get the goosebumps going.
Well, did you see that one of the owners is Jason Worth, played for I forget who, but he won a World Series, a ball player.
Oh,
Did you see the guy? Did you watch the race?
the most recent one? No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, you can answer this maybe. How did Eddie O end up doing a lot of horse stuff? Is that something he always?
He was
involved
big
with?
into horses himself, like the
Yeah,
gambling part of it and everything,
Yeah.
betting. So he's good too with the horses. He's good.
Yeah, no, he does the Derby and all that.
Yeah.
But I know, like, remember Johnny Campbell from all the guys that drove the Meadowlands were all Canadians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tom, did you weights when you played? I think most hockey players lanky and cute legs. I did. I had to because my game is more strength. Like Gretzky is a great example. He had no upper body whatsoever because he just never used the upper body. But his butt and legs were, man, huge. Yeah. So I left. I should have lifted more during the season. Definitely lifted during the summer. Yeah, my first training camp I came in I had the advantage of finishing my college season. Then I went down to the minors in New Haven to play. So I knew what I had to do to get ready. So I went home during the summer or back up to Marquette, Michigan during the summer, ran hills and lifted and everything. I remember coming back and they're like, "Holy, it's jacked."
Then you set the bar way too high. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's true. Well, actually, Cam Connor, that's a great point because Cam Connor was with the team and he got sent down. Before he got sent down, we become buddies. And he says, "You better maintain that muscle." And I didn't. I was still strong, but I wasn't like I was.
You were farm boy strong.
Yeah, and I should have listened to him because, I just taking that time to lift. Like a lot of guys lift after games now, don't they?
Some do, yeah. I mean, so I always had 3 bike rides up after the game. One if you played more than 20 minutes, one if you played 10 to 20, and then one ride if you played less than 10 minutes. And and then I had a little bit of a circuit set up. So it was up to them. It was their choice. But some guys do it before the game. I mean,
I saw that.
Yeah. I kind of like that because it kind of gets your nervous system jacked up,
Yeah.
Michael
Jordan lifted before games, I think.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Actually, I saw Paul Maurice talking about Bobrovsky. He was leaving the day of a game. He wrapped everything up, was leaving. He went to the weight room. Bobrovsky was there working out. I think it was like game 6 or 5 or something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because think about it. It can't. It's not going to hurt you, right?
No, I mean, again, it depends what you do. I mean, you don't want to do a heavy squat day and then play the same night or 2 days because you're going to have delayed onset of muscle soreness. But if you're just doing something maintenance and you're doing really explosive movements, it's really a good idea to do because it gets you fired up and ready to go and play. You energize your high threshold motor unit, so you really to be explosive.
Our buddy Bubba Beck. I know I told the story before. He'd do things just to make people think he was strange. He'd ride Playland, which you've seen, practice rink. He'd get, I think he was down to his underwear, maybe naked, but he had his underwear. And he'd oil himself all up, get in front of the mirror and start working out. And it was a setup where we'd have to walk by him.
You got to go by him.
Yeah, get the shower.
That's awesome.
And he puts a serious look on his face and everything too. Like this is what he's supposed to
work.
Yeah. Oh God, funny.
Oh man,
he was a funny man. I'll tell you. He was sometimes if he was quiet, that's fine. But then when he got funny, oh my God, he was funny.
How's he doing, by the way?
He's gone through some tough stuff. He had a prostate surgery. He had another surgery recently. All the stuff with his son, Pav, and his mother passed away. So he went through a tough ride. And then he very open. I'll talk about it because he's very open about himself. He had his addiction to the painkillers and the sleeping pills and everything too. So, yeah.
But do you remember Czech kid, Mike? What's his name? They got him from Buffalo.
Who was it? Played for the Devils?
No, Rangers.
Oh.
Anyway, I'll think of it. In test day, he got to like 33 reps on the bench. We did 195 bench press.
Yeah.
I said that's enough. Like,
oh, really?
I know what you've been doing this summer.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it's people talk about steroids.
Michael Grosek.
Grosek, yes, I remember him.
Yeah.
I look back now and I think there's some guys they're starting to do steroids. I think
just at the beginning.
Yeah.
Cordic was one for sure.
Yeah. Gary Roberts, I think, was doing it too. Like he really his level of animosity went up. Yeah. Yeah. And at first I was naive. I didn't know what he was talking about, but yeah.
Hey, you know what?
We got to be careful because we don't influence young kids or anything like that to do it. But if it's done properly, like
I don't know if there's a proper way to do it. There's a safer way to do it.
Right.
There's an extremely dangerous. There's a whole spectrum. But I think if you think about, is it between the American League and here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I question that though, even because I know that like when scouts look at guys in the American League, Jan Ludvig is a friend of mine. He showed me his laptop. This is years ago, but if you're not a 4.5, 5 skater when it's 0 to 5, doesn't matter how big and strong you are.
Yeah.
You could have 5s across the board and all the others. You're still an American leaguer. You got to skate.
Yeah. Especially in today's game. Yeah. No question.
Yeah,
like defensemen, like for me, when I played, I could turn, pivot, hook, hold, all that stuff. You can't do that now. You can't put stick on guys. So you got a full body.
I'm just watching the other night, Minnesota and Montreal, 1980 playoffs. You're assaulting each other, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Forget about penalties. There's a crime, 2 or 3 crimes per shift.
Yeah.
And nothing's called.
I know.
It's awesome. It's the way the game's supposed to be played.
I know. It is funny watching those old games now. We just would kill each other.
Oh, my God.
I remember I thought I didn't go to.
Just...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember I watched the old play. We played the Islanders. I think it was 83 playoffs where I was hammering people all night, and I should have known Nystrom was going to come and get me right at the end of the game. And he rattled me good. And I thought I stayed up, but I didn't. I fell down. But I got up and skate off, and finished the game the whole bit. It was like a minute to go in the game, and passed out in the locker room. They're saying I was babbling like a little baby. Like,
he'll do that to you.
Oh yeah. And, he was good. He apologized later on. He didn't have to apologize to me, but he was. Yeah. Scotty Cooper, congratulations on this one here. Boys, 4 years sober. Nice.
That is really good. Keep going, brother. One day at a time, man. One day at a time.
Except to say, can't root for the Panthers. New players care about being. I don't know. Once it's over.
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like usually back then. I don't even think we watched that much after because it's like enough. If you lost out, you're upset and just want to get away from it. So, yeah, Nordic. Yeah, I know you mean Cordic, but he was a scary dude. He was definitely on the juice too. He was.
Oh no, that's what he died from. I mean, because he got arrested. Yeah, well, I mean, you can't say exactly that. But,
right.
Excuse me, but he got arrested, and he struggled with the police officers, and I believe he had a cardiac.
I didn't know that. How long ago was that?
It's a while ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Who's the Ray Emery? He drowned, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that was not accidental.
I knew him very casually. He was a great guy. He loved boxing.
Right.
Because his dad was a fighter. In fact, on his, he always had Mike Tyson and I think Joe Louis on the other side here on his helmet. But yeah, that was a weird story. It was an early morning thing, and he You just wonder.
A lot of people
Again,
say he never swam before, so he.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
It's terrible.
Who was the Conseco drug guys of the NHL? I got to say Cordic, right?
Cordic was one.
Right.
I mean, I know, but I can't say.
Oh, how many players do you think when you were working the NHL, percentage wise, were doing some kind of performance enhancing?
I would say it was as low as 15 to 20%,
Right.
maybe even lower than that.
Right.
Yeah. And again, I don't even know now. I mean, because like you said,
Yeah. I wouldn't say looking at these guys that they are. They just don't. Yeah.
certainly the heavyweights back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, these were monsters. So
Yeah, no kidding.
again, I
I
don't
don't
want to name names, but we know who we're talking. Just
Yeah.
monster guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there was
Uh.
somebody that I won't say. I'll tell you. Know. We'll talk about it later.
What's that? Another player? There's
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. I was shocked to, and again, this is just from one person, although everybody seems to agree, that Riley Cooper was saying that he thinks 50% of all professional athletes are doing the psilocybins. I lost Mark there for a second. He'll be back. I'll be back. I know we talked about this before with the psilocybin side, but I was kind of surprised I didn't know that. And then a lot of people, I think, like business people that are doing big meetings, it really helps you focus. So Corey Hirsch posted the other day, he'd gone down to Colombia, I think it was. And then one of those things where you with the shaman and all the psilocybins and the whole bit. So looks like we lost Mark here. Hospitals use psilocybins. I think that's a little bit off in the spelling, but I didn't know how to spell it as soon as I'm saying that. But yeah. I didn't know hospitals are using it. Oh, wow. Because it's not legal in every state. It's legal. We're just talking about psilocybins, where we had that Riley Cote on, and he said he thinks about 50% of all professional athletes are doing psilocybins. A lot of big business people, actors.
Yeah. Well, the microdosing,
Yeah.
They commercially are selling. It's not quite the same, but there's a couple different products that are non-alcoholic.
For psilocybin?
Well, I don't know if it's not psilocybin, if they're using mushrooms.
Oh,
It's a product called Breeze. I mentioned to him, Pat, in the next couple of weeks, whenever he has a chance. I got a good friend of mine who's he grows and he's educated, just got his PhD and all this stuff. So we'll be able to get some firm answers.
good. That Ryan Vanderbush, we had him on as well, and he's starting to grow his own.
Mhm.
And going to sell it, guys. I guess in Canada it's legal. So,
Yeah, that's what this guy does as well.
Huh?
Yeah,
Huh.
he's a combat
Yeah, it's
fighter.
really interesting the whole lifestyle that comes with. Like I said with Corey Hirsch, like he's really gotten into the whole. I don't know if this is fair to say or not, but it's almost like a little bit of a hippie mentality. You know,
It's a little spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah, the way they look at life and death, and
Which I think right now we could use a whole bunch of.
yeah, no kidding. Yeah,
You know, the other day. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah. Go. You go.
Well, you know, look, the other day I'm checking out a self checkout.
Yeah.
So there was a man and a woman next to me here, and a young lady behind me, and she had a bait like a toddler in the stroller, the push cart. Anyways, she gets done. She goes to go through, and she very politely asks him, "Excuse me, can I get through?" He spins around and lights her up. We're not done. The old me would have been, buddy.
I know.
So
Yeah.
the new Namaste, I just turned around and said, "Excuse me, is there a problem here?" Just to say, "Hey, chill, man, relax."
Oh, did you? Yeah,
Yeah, the girl's just trying to get through.
I know.
Everybody is on such edge now.
Oh, I know.
I
You just
think
don't want to be
most-
nice to him. Yeah.
No, COVID and all this other nonsense. Turn on the news, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it is too, because they think everybody else sees. Well, everybody else is doing what they want to do. So why do I have to be nice to somebody? Right.
Yeah.
That's his
Well,
mentality.
I just, especially where I live, it's so congested. I think everybody's ready to rip.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
on the road, everybody's so aggressive. It's kind of.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So we could all use a little microdosing.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Microdosing. And then there's the microdosing with psilocybins. There's macrodosing, which is more like having a trip, like an LSD trip, correct?
Yeah. Well, yeah. They use psilocybin, but they also use ayahuasca. I can't pronounce it, but I think that's it.
Ayahuasca. Is it ayahuasca? Is that the
Ayahuasca.
process, or is that a
No, that's another mushroom.
Okay.
That's another, and
And-
that's a whole experience. Like you
Right.
trip.
Right.
But there are some people that have done it only once, and it cured their addiction to alcohol.
Yes.
It cured their PTSD.
Yeah.
It's
I've got a
pretty-
Navy SEAL buddy of mine that I was doing a podcast with. I don't know, he
Mhm.
talks about it publicly. It's Pat Barr, and he had to quit doing the podcast because he went into therapy. He had a drinking problem,
Mhm.
And I talked to him. He's on Joe Rogan's legal team now. And I talked to
really?
him. Yeah, I talked to him a few months ago. He'd gone through that. There's a 2-day process where they do, I guess it's ayahuasca one day and then the toad poison the next day. And,
Yeah, I don't know the protocol, but yeah.
but he's a totally different person. He says, Tom, it's the most scariest thing I've ever done in my life. He says, man, this is a Navy SEAL talking. But he said it's the best thing I've ever done in my life too. It really changed him. So.
Yeah. So Marcus Capone is another former SEAL. He's on the West Coast. He's out probably out in Coronado. He brings guys down to Mexico, and it's in a clinical setting.
Yeah,
it's not like you're in the woods with a shaman.
Yeah.
Which probably is even a better way to do it. But yeah.
Well, that's what that Corey Hurst did. He was with a shaman. He posted
You can't do that.
Yeah.
They do. You know, it's interesting. I ran into a guy last year. Beth and I, excuse me, we're in Utah. In fact, this week we were there last year, and you know, I'm one of those dudes. If I just walk up to people, I start talking.
Yeah, can't believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're having breakfast, and it's really cool. Like we're overlooking the canyon there, and there's a dude over there with a dog, and he kind of like was just having coffee. So anyhow, I walked over, said, "Hey, can I say hello to your dogs here?" We got to talking. It turns out he was a big time movie producer, but now he's got a place in South America, one in Mexico, I think one in Canada, where that's what they do. It's like a spiritual center. You go there to do the ayahuasca and the whole bit. And he was an older guy. He was probably like my age.
Yeah. It's amazing how it's like really. It used to be viewed as like like you just get
Drug
stoned
addicts,
or whatever. Yeah.
hippies. Yeah.
That's interesting. There's a guy, I didn't catch it, but Riley Cote was telling me this. I guess the awards ceremony or the All-Star game this past year, there was a singer or actor that got up and was making a speech, and he was joking around. He fumbled his words or something. He says, well, I guess I did too much of the macrodosing or microdosing. And I didn't catch what it was. I didn't know anything about that at the time. And so I went back and watched it. Yeah.
Anybody who's listening that's politically aware, like into the whole thing, that when Janet Yellen, our Secretary of Treasury, went over to China like 6 months ago, they dosed her soup.
Oh,
it's hysterical. Go on YouTube. And she was like, I was really high.
Oh,
this is the Secretary of Treasury.
And so who did it? The Chinese?
The Chinese did. They put magic mushrooms in her soup.
Oh God. Oh, how about the video? Okay, I want to ask you. I've sent you the video on the black box on the ship. That is that accurate?
I tend to believe it is.
Yeah. It seemed like this guy. He knew what he's talking about. Yeah. So just so everybody knows, so the Mark and I, not totally the same, but a lot of the same. I don't think it's conspiracy theories, but we're always thinking, okay, questions. Yeah. So the barge that ran into the bridge there down in Baltimore, the guy was doing a video talking about how they recovered the black box, which he says all fine. There's 2 minutes of missing, and it's the 2 minutes where I think it was the 2 minutes where actually ran into the bridge, right? Okay, that's
amazing how that works.
Yeah. So then there's the bridge fire. We had a 95 there a couple months ago, about a month ago, and then there's been a couple other bridge fires. Yeah.
Next day, so, they do. There's things that they make you question, really.
Yeah.
Like the whole Bin Laden thing. So we killed the most wanted man on a planet. We throw him in the ocean in less than 24 hours.
Was that what happened to his body?
Yeah. And by the way, they had to ship it from if this is, what do they call it? Pakistan, from here, like all the way over to here. Like if you wanted to build the best conspiracy theory story, this doesn't beat it. This is pretty close to the best.
Right.
Like why are there no pictures of him? Some say, well, they blew his face off. All right, show me the picture of his face blown off.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So what do you think then?
Well, I read a biography on this guy, Billy Waugh. I think I mentioned it before. He was a special force guy. In fact, he was in Afghanistan when he was 72 years old working for the CIA.
Okay, you talk about him. Yeah.
Legitimately probably the baddest ass dude ever on the planet. He says that he's pretty sure that Bin Laden was killed in 2005 with a missile strike into one of the caves. And they just kept it quiet. This is me speaking now. That's what he said. I think that if it did happen, they kept it quiet until they needed it politically.
Oh, okay.
That's just and I'm probably way off on, but maybe not. Who knows?
Right.
But
I'm not doubting you anyway, but here's what people come back with. Okay, but look at all the people then that are in on that charade or hoax or whatever you want to call it that kept their mouth shut. Like all the Navy SEALs that went in there. Right.
No, well, his story was a missile. So it wasn't a SEAL detachment that went in. And I'm not saying that, Rob O'Neill and all those guys are lying. It just makes you question because, and I don't know why Billy Waugh would lie, but he was working off a secondhand. So maybe it wasn't fact, but they do make it seem like Building 7 just collapsing for no reason.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I know.
So,
The
Kennedy assassination.
I know. There's so many things.
tell you,
The moon landing.
Yeah, the flag. I mean, the shot.
I know,
Everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the cart that was driving around. They had the electric cart. How did they? Yeah, but how did they get it there? Like, there's no room in there. And it's-
And there's a lot of questions about that.
Right.
And why have we not been back since?
Yeah.
Since
Aren't the Russians or
1969?
somebody going? Isn't there somebody going to the moon?
China sent they landed something there.
Yeah.
There was no personnel, but they landed something there.
There's another video I saw this weekend too of they feel like there was like a bunch of scraps there, like somebody had already there'd been like a war.
Oh, there's
on
all
the moon.
kinds of stories. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny like if you take a pill and just know all the truths out there of all the things that have happened in the
He
past?
probably wouldn't want to know.
Yeah.
But this comedian was not a comedian. I forget who it was. But he was talking about the Kennedy assassination. You had the Daley Plaza where he was killed, and then you got the book depository, right? And where Lee Harvey Oswald shot out of, they haven't touched anything, and they like a plastic up, and now it's a museum. It's called the Assassination Museum. Could you imagine, like, your school teacher, hey kids, we're going on a field trip today. We're going to the Assassination Museum. But anyhow, so the guy's taught, speak, goes, yeah, you go in there and the boxes are still piled like how we had it.
Right.
And, of course, Lee Harvey Oswald isn't in there now, but just like it's the same thing the day it happened.
Right.
That he wasn't in there.
And then who's the guy that shot Lee Harvey Oswald? Was it
Jack Ruby?
Jack Ruby.
Jack, who was a mobster out of New Orleans, who had terminal cancer, so he didn't care. Yeah. Yeah.
And did Jack Ruby get shot as well?
No, he died of cancer
Just
shortly
died of
after. But yeah.
He's just shot the president of the United States, but they're going to leave him wide open so somebody
Right.
could go get him.
And I'm sure it wasn't because he was a patriot. He's paid off.
Right. So what's the theory? Is the mob did it?
Oh, there's a lot of theories. So they feel that it was the mob and the CIA working together.
CIA.
Because they were working together at that time trying to kill Fidel Castro.
Right.
The mob was upset because they had Havana, which was a huge moneymaker.
Right.
And Castro, of course, kicked them all out and took over the country. So they wanted him out. The CIA wanted him out because his connection with the Soviet Union. And so they were trying to poison his cigars, like some really crazy
And
stuff.
do you believe that the driver turned around and shot him in the head?
No.
Oh, no. You don't believe that?
No, that was there's film. There's Sapruder film was showing that. But there's triangulation, which you use in it,
Right.
so that somebody's going to hit him. You've heard about the shot from the grassy knoll, and that would be part of the triangulation.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you know? I didn't know this. I looked it up. The IRS started after the Civil War.
Oh,
pay
yeah.
for the Civil War. Huh.
Yeah. And it didn't go into federal law until the 1900s.
Yeah.
There's no
it was-
tax.
And there's a lot of people that fought it, the federal tax, and then ultimately, like you said, in the early 1900s.
Yeah, some say it's not constitutional, but
Yeah.
either it's paying off student loan debt, so we're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I know.
I want
I
to
tell
pay off my college drinking bill.
I hate doing it, but it is hilarious watching the videos of Biden when the people put those clips together. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you stand politically. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is.
We're just all going, no, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
We're clearly-
And people love Trump even more now after he's indicted.
Yeah, it's kind of been backfiring,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Well, why weren't they smart enough to know that?
You
I mean,
really wonder.
Yeah.
You really wonder who's really calling the shots right now, because it's clearly not him.
Yeah. It's kind of like the intention. Like they've asked you and I before. They've said, yeah, people are going to love him more. Do
And
what
they
you want
are.
to.
I mean, his poll numbers keep going up, but
Oh,
we're a long way from November.
here's another theory out there that Biden will, and later in summer, will decide that he is not running,
Right.
and that Jill, or no, what's her name, Obama's wife.
Kamala Harris.
No,
His wife? Oh,
yeah,
Michelle Obama.
yeah,
She said she doesn't want to, which means she does.
yeah, totally. Isn't
They
it? Every
tell you-
every politician
they
says
all
that,
do the
right?
same thing. No, I don't want to. Like Gavin Newsom, no. Well, why were we in there measuring the drapes? You know?
What if you found out who's planted that cocaine in the White House there? How about this Hunter Biden? Like what?
I think it was Billy Carter.
Billy Carter. Oh God,
I mean,
that's funny.
there's so much here. I mean, like, you think
Isn't it?
about
It's actually kind of funny. Like if
you
somebody
were-
from let's say there's an alien looking down, watching all this. You go, what?
What are they- Now, but think of this too, Tom. Like, imagine, so we're intelligence for bad Russians or North Korea, and we say, listen, let's find a political leader that we can compromise, that maybe has a family member who has a problem.
Yeah. Oh, I know. The other day there was at some it's a funeral or something for somebody, and Biden went to sit down.
Well, it
And,
was a D-Day.
oh, it's a D-Day. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he went to sit down on stage. There's no chair there.
They're introducing somebody, and everybody else is standing, and his wife had to see him. She's funny. She puts a hand over both. Okay, we don't know this guy.
She's like, oh my God, what are you doing?
I know. And he went ahead and sat down anyways, right? That's funny.
I mean, he was frozen there for a bit. And then,
Yeah.
you know, Macron, and then I guess it was still going on. She just yanked him off stage. Macron was like, where'd he go?
But when they get up there, like I know your name, his White House spokesperson,
Karine Jean-Pierre.
oh God,
Yeah.
that is hilarious. Like the reporters just the one
That's
reporter went, they get on.
She's got the worst job in the world.
Oh, totally. Why would she want to do it? Like she can't get another
Right.
job anyplace else after
She'll
that.
write
She
a
can do-
book and make a lot of money.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I
of
mean,
reasons. But
It'd be funny when she's older and she does an interview and people are going to ask her like, what she goes, I'm sorry, I'm just embarrassed. Like I can't.
But just think of this, you know, like really, this is the, and, you know, look, he's got mental health issues on him, no question. But if you're a bad person, that's the guy you target.
Yeah.
Start giving him millions of dollars for no reason at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
How about there's another one too where Biden during one of the campaign debates with Trump talked about Hunter Biden saying, well, he didn't take money from the Chinese or from
Yes,
big
he
companies.
did.
Right?
He did
Right.
say that.
Yeah. And then they come back later on. Now he's acknowledged that.
They got the check.
Yeah.
Well, and again, God,
You know what was good by Trump too? In that, like he said it with total certainty. And sometimes you wonder, is he like full of crap? But he must obviously he knew because the way he's saying it, he's like, yeah,
he's got people around him who have the fun
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the last thing I'll say about Biden. When he was campaigning way back when, 2020, he was at some big rally, pick a state, Tennessee, let's just say, and whoever the senator or congressperson from that state was there, and he thanked them. He said, "Hey, stand up so everybody can give you a round of applause." The guy's in a wheelchair.
Oh.
And
Oh, that's right. I remember that. And didn't he make some comment like did he make some comment after that too? Like, why can't you stand up or something? There's something.
well, he said, stand up. Then they must have told him, he went, "Oh, God bless you. Everybody else stand up, give him a cheer." Like I'll give him that. He was quick on his feet. He recovered. Like
yeah.
with you, with the, are you due?
Oh, jeez. Oh,
When are you due?
it's-
You
I-
follow-
I start cringing now. If I see a pregnant woman, I
Afraid to say
I start
anything.
saying, Tom, don't say a word like
Well,
it's
apparently now, if you see a guy that, a heavy
Oh,
guy can be
God.
pregnant, apparently nowadays too. So you can really doubly careful.
It's another interview where a woman's saying this. She's interviewing another woman, and so you're telling me then that it's sexist to say that 2 + 2 = 4, and the other woman goes, yes, it
Racist.
is. Was it sexist or racist?
Either one, but
Yeah.
I think originally
Was it racist?
Yeah.
And she justified why it was racist because, yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Like,
We live in a land now where we just make stuff up and believe, like little kids. Like let's make believe.
yeah, I know.
You know, this cardboard box is a spaceship. It's ridiculous.
What would you like if you identified as something different than a man? What would you identify as? Like an animal or
Oh yeah,
definitely like a dog or what?
be like a panther.
Oh, like a panther. Okay. What would I identify? I'd identify as a what's the most like vicious animal like that other animals can't kill? Is it an alligator?
Kimono dragon.
Oh, really?
Oh, because they get up to like 50 miles an hour.
Really? Oh,
They're huge and they're prehistoric. I mean, they'll rip you right in half. And
ooh. So
check
that's
them out. Yeah, later on. Go on YouTube and see. They're bad, man.
kimono dragons.
Yeah, you see one of them, you better get on a jet.
Yeah. A hippo. Scott Cooper says a hippo. Can other animals kill a hippo?
Hey, they knock over trains. They'll headbutt
Wow.
a train and knock it right off the. Oh yeah.
Hippos do.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the commercial with the what is it? A hippo in the net? Is that what it is?
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
Walrus.
Walrus, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what
And the guy's
it's
going,
called.
he's a walrus. There's a walrus in that.
A
Yeah.
walrus.
So that would be the most like unkillable animal, the hippo. Or what do you think?
They're pretty.
Or they?
Hippos are tough. Kimono dragon. Any of the
Kimono
big cats, a lion, a tiger. You know.
Right. What about an elephant? The elephant can't run away. That's one problem.
Oh no, when they're not to be tended with either when they get angry. They get drunk, you know. They find fermented fruits and they get drunk and they start laying around.
Come on, seriously?
Yeah,
Elephants
for
do?
real. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about have you ever been in the water with sharks?
yeah. So scuba diving, yes, I've seen them,
Oh.
and it's not a very pleasant feeling. But
No kidding.
But Bill
I'd freak.
Brown's, they do the Tampa Frogman swim. It's all seals. and
Right.
where they swim in Tampa Bay, there's a lot of, I think they're bull sharks. They're really aggressive, and he has to wear like some kind of electronic thing that's supposed to
No.
keep him away. But
No way.
yeah,
Not doing it.
no,
Not getting in the water. I took
These
my
guys
boys.
right
Yeah,
in.
I took my boys when they were young to Disney World,
Mhm.
and there's a big tank, and they've got a whole bunch of different fish, and there's a couple of smaller sharks,
I
they're
did that with
probably-
the boys too.
they're just like 2 feet, and they tell you
Yeah.
don't start kicking your feet. So I'm with my youngest son behind my older son.
Mhm.
We got the goggles on him, and I'm looking down, and my oldest son starts kicking. The shark starts coming up towards him, and I'm going to watch my son get bitten.
Yeah.
But they've got about 24 guys in the water.
Oh,
They're-
ready to
they're-
move.
yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Sean went right in. Ty just kind of sat there.
Oh.
I forget his excuse. But
Oh.
yeah, we finally got him in. But by the way, there's a whole, this is in today's paper too, I saw on the news. There's a big problem in Florida right now. Is it Florida? With
Yeah.
Shark attacks.
I saw that last 3 days. There'd be like a whole bunch of people dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, the Panhandle. So that's the West Coast.
I don't know, man. To get in the water nowadays, in the ocean, and everything. Oh man,
Yeah, it's a little sketchy.
even the guys that do the swim across the Hudson, there, all the seals. I mean, they have to shower off right away too. That water's nasty.
Well, yeah, you're sucking down diesel fuel. It's pretty gross.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
Some of the guys just vomiting while they swim.
Oh, really? Is that right? Oh,
It's brutal.
remember the woman, a really nice person that was. She get the shivers and everything, or she. Yeah.
Oh, Chris Bachman. She's a runner.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I follow her on Facebook and everything now. She does a lot of running.
She's very dedicated and she's fearless. I mean, she enters all these like really tough events.
Yeah,
And then of course, Rhonda Viteri, who's just you met Rhonda too.
she's the Greenwich girl. Yeah,
Yeah, she's amazing. I mean, she goes over to Africa and runs, and she's just a tremendous human being. But she does a lot for all different communities. Yeah.
yeah, she's good. Very good. Yeah, Chris Bachman contacted me. She didn't know I was on Facebook when we met.
Mhm.
I mean, I was on Survivor when we met.
Oh, that's right.
So that's what she was going on. And I told her all the time. She got kids and everything too. So she's my husband would divorce me if I did that. So yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like with the swim, you look at some of the people and go, oh, I don't know. They do it. Somehow they get the swim done.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
have
there's a few type A personalities in that group.
a little bit. Yeah.
It'd be above that, right?
Every year, my issue, and it's a good issue to have, but there's a SEAL. His first name, incidentally, is Mark, but he just transitioned to civilian life, but he finished as a instructor, a BUDS instructor.
Oh.
So he's the first one up every year.
Right.
The first year he swam, I had to tell him you have to wait for the rest of the group because he was ready to jump right back in
Yeah.
after he did his push-ups and pull-ups. He beat the collegiate because we have usually like 4 or 5 Division I collegiate swimmers, and he beat them.
Right.
Yeah, and he's like 51, 52 years old.
And what's his name again?
Mark, I forget his last name, but he had just rotated out after being in for 20.
I think I remember
you
him.
met
Yeah.
him. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the second swim you were at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were with me. We were telling, hey,
Yeah,
bud, you got-
Yeah. He was kind of pissed. He wanted to get going
he was
again. Yeah.
pissed off. Yeah,
And it just so he knows it's not a race. There's no winner or loser. But he's
yeah. Good luck telling that to
Yeah.
competitive people.
That's funny. That's funny.
Good
Oh goodness. Okay, so the Florida plays the Edmonton again tonight.
Yeah.
8:00.
Mhm.
Here's the thing: like Edmonton should have won that game. Like everybody's thinking that, and I still think that Florida's going to win, but they got to play a lot better than that.
And the jet lag now from Florida to Edmonton.
Yeah.
What's it, about 8 hours? I would say.
Oh, it's a 2-hour time difference, so you're going
Yeah.
back 2 hours. It's probably that's a long flight. So if you go from
Yeah.
coast to coast is 5 or 6 hours. You're going against them.
I mean, you have to think Florida to Chicago's got to be all of 3-4 hours.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
sure.
then from Chicago to Edmonton's another
That's
3 or
right.
4. Yeah.
Oh man, that's right too.
That's a brutal series for that
Yeah.
part of it to travel.
Yeah, think about when Tampa played Calgary too. Remember that series?
Oh,
Right?
God,
Yeah. And they went to full 7. I don't think they,
They
had
did.
days off, right? They
Yeah.
played game 6, and then the next night I think they
I
played game
think
7.
they did. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. The book story. So Susan Brooks going to bring up the book. The book is completed. It's a bigger process than I thought with Amazon. They want your everything.
Son.
Yeah, they want bank account numbers and social security numbers. And I just didn't anticipate that. So I'm trying to figure out all that kind of stuff. I just don't like giving out all my. I guess
Well, problem with that thinking, and I have the same thing, is
Yeah.
they already have it.
I know. Yeah.
You know, They say that average person has 1 million bits of information on the internet about them.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's just the average person. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, think about it. You're every time you shop, every time you use a credit or a debit card, that's being tracked. Your purchases are being tracked. That
Yeah.
they sell information for marketing. It's understandable. What they
And
do.
even with your phone, you notice like when you get in, if you drive the same place every morning, it's automatically tells you how the traffic
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
or like right now, it's off, right? And
Yeah.
if I mention a product, whatever it is, it'll show up on my Facebook timeline in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a little frightening.
Excuse me. Warrior Survivor today.
So you know,
go ahead. Sure.
because you played against him, Kurt Bennett. You know his
Yeah.
wife is Siri.
Really?
That's her voice. Yeah.
Is that right? I
Kurt
didn't.
Bennett, Sue Bennett. Yeah, his first
Oh,
wife. That's
wow.
Sue Bennett. Yeah.
Hey Siri,
'Cause
are you Bill Bennett's wife?
Kurt.
Kurt Bennett's wife?
I didn't get that.
Okay.
Could you try again?
No, get it.
But if you Google it, you'll see it's Kurt's wife.
That's funny. That's funny. Well,
He's
you're
down
on
in Hawaii. He's in
Go ahead.
Hawaii now. He became
Yeah.
like a
the water fountain.
agriculture guy. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Warrior Survivor today, a briefing on dangerous animals. Excuse me. No, not on dangerous animals. They give us a briefing on protected animals that we couldn't go near. On the island that we had, it was a little bird. And it was kind of scary for the bird, I thought, because it was never afraid of humans because they tell you can't go near the bird. So the bird just doesn't pay attention.
Mhm.
We were in the middle of the night, we had the fire going. The bird comes in, just walks right through the fire. And I guess it's fearless. Nobody's ever tried to hurt it. So it doesn't know how to protect itself. Huh?
That's crazy. Now, did you ever, when you played, any problem with cougars?
No, there was no problem with cougars. It's funny you say that though, too, because it's a terrible story. But when I finished my college year, my senior year, they sent me to New Haven, and this cougar just kept hanging around, and I was like, "What do you want? Like, what do you think she wants, Tom?"
I bet you figured it out pretty quick.
Well, it took me a while. Surprisingly, I still because remember, I was a farm boy. Then when we went up to Marquette, Michigan, it was a small little mining town,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like I'd ever been. Excuse me,
City,
been in the big city, yeah. What the
Yeah,
heck?
that had to be a pretty big culture shock.
Yeah. Yeah, it was first. I mean, and so when I came to New York, I flew in. They flew us into LaGuardia, flew me into LaGuardia. I've got my hockey sticks and my bag.
Cowboy hat.
Oh yeah, and it was a transit strike going on, so it took me like 2 hours in a cab to get from LaGuardia to Madison Square Garden, which normally takes you maybe about 45
Yeah,
minutes or so. Yeah. So the guy actually drops me off across on 7th Avenue, and I dropped my skates on the street and everything. That must have been quite a scene. Everybody must look like, what is this guy? And you're right, I had my cowboy hat and everything too.
That's like, so Terry Bradshaw played at Southern Louisiana, and the guy that he was behind, who was the starting quarterback, was Phil Robertson from that Duck Dynasty.
Oh,
Yeah, the patriarch, the oldest guy. He
Oh.
was the quarterback. They say he'd have been a great NFL player.
wow.
So Terry Bradshaw says you go in the locker room in the morning, and in his locker there'd be like ducks hanging with blood dripping out of them because he had been hunting earlier in the morning. Went right to yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's very cool. All right, everybody, we babbled on here for well over an hour to the 22 universes that are out there. Did we solve
that.
anything? Do we have any useful information?
No, zero.
Really?
It's just babble.
There's got to be something that came out of that babble.
Yeah, let me think. But
Something educational.
yeah,
Hey, we should try to think as we're going through the show, so we can go back and do like a highlight of the show. Like, what is the most educational portion?
it may take a while.
Yeah, what too? Yeah. Yeah. All right, everybody have a fantastic week. I'll see you again on Thursday. Everybody again, 988 hotline for suicides and mental health hotline. What else we got going? Oh, that shoulder check project. Let's make sure we're taking care of each other. It again is Men's Mental Health Month, so it's a sad time again. A lot of, it just seems like, and I'm not saying women don't go through issues as well, but being men, it's a lot of tough times out there for men.
Tough time for everybody right now.
Yeah.
But to Barry Shelley, who's a great friend of ours.
Yep.
He's so excited. He's going on vacation up to Canada, I think this week or next week. So have a great time, Barry.
That's right. He's going to the Hockey Hall of Fame too, isn't
Yeah. He's going to the Hall of Fame. And he's going to meet a lot of people. He posted this morning that his luggage is so full of pucks and stuff to give away that he has no room for clothes because that's what he just gives and gives. He's got such a big heart, such a great
Barry, here's a little hint for you too. I am not in the Hall of Fame, so don't be looking for me. You won't find me. Okay. Or if you want to drive over to Brampton, Ontario, which is about like
There you
45
are.
minutes away, Hall of Fame there. So everybody have a fantastic week.
See you guys.